This is Ticats Today.
This is Ticats Today for a Sunday, September the 5th, 2021. It is a Ticats Today Sunday bonus edition as Ticats getting set for the Toronto Argonauts in tomorrow's Labor Day Classic. And yes, just one more sleep until we get to welcome fans back to Tim Hortons Field. And this is a very, very, very long time coming. 659 days since the Ticats last played at home in the East Final back in 2019. A huge game, and expecting a great, loud Tiger Cats crowd tomorrow afternoon. Make sure to join us right here on the Ticats Audio Network starting at 11 a.m. with the Labor Day Classic pre-game show with Bubba O'Neill. He'll be joined by Mike Morreale, by Tracy Lynn, by Rob Hitchcock. A great hour of programming leading up to Tiger Cats pregame with myself and Andy Fantouz. And looking forward to that, of course. And we're going to have a lot of great guests on that show. And then we'll hand it over to Luke Tasker and RJ Broadhead, who will have the call of the proceedings. And hopefully you're able to join us in stadium at Tim Hortons Field. But if you are not, then make sure to be listening on the Ticats Audio Network. And that rings especially true when it comes to Tiger Cats postgame, where Andy and I will break down what we watched and what you saw or listened to. And then, of course, from there, we're also going to be joined by Coach for his first interview after the game, a player, all that presented by Access Storage. And then we're actually going to be giving away a pair of tickets to the next Ticats home game. So you're going to want to listen all day tomorrow on the Tiger Cats Audio Network. And again, starting at 11 a.m. with Bubba O'Neill. All right, let's run through the depth chart here as we have the Ticats releasing their depth chart this morning, 11 a.m. And a couple of highlights. Let's start on offense because Jeremiah Masoli is out. Jeremiah Masoli was placed on the one-game injured list, so he is unavailable for Monday's game. So David Watford will be backing up Dane Evans. Other than that, not a whole lot of changes when it comes to the offense. Out wide, you have Dunbar Jr., Stephen Dunbar Jr., and Ungerwood, David Ungerwood III. At slot, you have Jalen Acklin, Tim White, and Speedy B. And then up the middle, as mentioned, Dane Evans, Thomas Erlington, and Nikola Kalinic. Maybe another one change to note is that Don Jackson will be making his Ticats debut as he backs up Thomas Erlington. Looking forward to see what he can do. Of course, Wes Hills placed on the 6-game injured list after last Friday's game. So that's how the offense will line up. On defense, couple of changes, and they both come up front as Jagarrett Davis returns from the suspended list. He takes his regular spot at defensive end, and Dylan Wynn makes his first start since week 1, returning from injury. Teddy Laurent will line up at nose tackle, and Julian Hauser will line up on the other end. And the secondary linebackers exactly the same from last week. Up the middle, you got Simone Lawrence, weak side, Jovan Santos Knox, middle linebacker. And strong side, you got Cameron Kelly, and then in the secondary, from left to right, Jamal Roll, Carriel Brooks, Tunde Adelke, Ciante Evans, and Frankie Williams. And speaking of Frankie, he will be the kick returner and punt returner, and it'll be rounded out by Dom Agala handling the kicking duties, Joel Whitford handling the punting duties, and Gordon White, the long snapper. So there you go. That's how the Ticats will line up. Let's hear more about tomorrow's lineup from the head coach of the Ticats. Here is Orlondo Steinauer.
Said earlier, Dane was going to lead us, and now David will be in the saddle. It is a little bit of comfort food there, having him in the building, but we're anticipating not having to go to David. Just want Don to be himself, bring what he brings, and just excited to have him out there. He's fully healthy. He's been biding his time, and this is his opportunity. And so you can only suit so many people per week. He's been a great teammate and a great player in the organization thus far, and we just want him to bring what he brings. There's no expectations except for to do what he does. Yeah, I just think Mason, first of all, he's a great person, and he's willing to work. He's adapted to the pro game. I know we threw him inside early in camp. He didn't blink an eye. I think he's tough. I think he's a smart player, and he, by all means, he's got a great work ethic. And in regards to the first part of your comment, obviously having Jagarrett and Dylan in the lineup, their play speaks for itself.
That is the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Orlondo Steinauer, as he spoke after walkthrough today. And if you missed it off the top, a couple of roster changes for the Ticats as Dylan Wynn makes his return to the lineup for the first time since week one. And we had a chance to catch up with Dylan earlier this week and talked about how excited he is to be playing in a game like this.
Take a nice deep breath before the first snap. And then, let the cards lie. That's kind of the message in our whole room and everything is we know how big this game is and we know how fun this game is always. And, we just got to play to our ability, take a nice deep breath, take the moment in and just have fun. Absolutely. We have just deep depth in the D-line room and everyone that we have can ball. And that's just a credit to Berkey and our entire staff and the guys that they bring in. I mean, they're ballers on the field, but they're great men off the field. And it helps when we get into situations like me getting injured. It's just next man up and keep it rolling. Every game is a new game. And so it's interesting because when you get into Labor Day, it's like the ebb and flow and it's a heavy emotional game and it always goes down to the wire. But why we came on top the last few times, I can't say because I remember it's always been a nail biter. I remember going into half times, with us being under. But it's a bar fight every time, and it's so much fun, and that's why we love the Labor Day Classic, and that's why our Hamilton fans love it too. Is it resonates with kind of the attitude of the city. I didn't even know that, to be 100% honest, truly. I can't tell you. All I know is I watched the film of the last Labor Day Classic, and there's a lot of stuff we had to clean up. It's never. I don't think it's a one-sided ordeal, especially this year with how dangerous the Argos are and how well they're playing recently. And we really need to be on our P's and Q's to, get this home opener the way we want it. We have to play as a unit. We have to play, conducive football. If we're not on the amount of weapons that Toronto has and the amount of playmakers that they got, it demands sound football and technique perfect and stuff like that. And that's what we strive for every day. That's what we kind of put our hat on as a defense. And we're excited for this opportunity because in a great game like this, the margin of error is so low. And we don't fold under pressure. We rise to opportunity. So we're quite excited for it.
That is Dylan Wynn getting set to make his return to the Tiger Cats lineup. And wow, that Ticats defense was good against Montreal, and they'll need to be good against Toronto. But when you add in Dylan Wynn back in the lineup, Jagarrett Davis back in the lineup, Mason Bennett has been absolutely fantastic. Maybe someone we're not talking about as much as we should right now, but he has been really good on that defensive line. And you heard there, Dylan Wynn has basically the confidence in just about all his D linemen, including Eddie Wilson II, who unfortunately has to come out of the starting lineup, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of him against the Toronto Argonauts, as there's a lot of cohesiveness in that defensive line so far this season. Speaking of the defensive line, got one more piece of audio here for you, as Ted Laurent, someone who's played in these Ticats Argos games a few times. We had a chance to catch up with Teddy earlier this week, and here's what he had to say.
We talked about him. Some may look at it as another game, but we try to tell them it's like a college rivalry. It's like Ohio State, Michigan, for the college guys in the States. It's a big rivalry. So we try to implement them to let them know that it's a big rivalry and just get them motivated a little bit more. But we tell them, especially for this town, this game means a lot to them. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great, especially I have a routine of mine, so I get to do it. But it's definitely awesome to finally get to play home, be in front of our fans. They deserve it. We deserve it, and we're just looking forward to this home opener. I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of chirping. Definitely going to be some guys gonna try and finish the play. Old linemen try to put us on the ground or go after the whistle. Like we ready for that. We prepare for that. We know it's a rivalry, so guys' juice is going to be a bit floating, and guys going to be amped up. So it's definitely a lot of stuff going on in the trenches, especially in this game. So you see a lot of guys talk trash, and also O linemen try to put D linemen on their butts after the whistle is blown.
That is Ted Laurent, as he will again start for the second game in a row against the Toronto Argonauts. But yeah, Ticats getting healthier just a little bit. Obviously, a tough blow with no Jeremiah Masoli, but I mentioned this with Coach. When you have two quarterbacks, it's always great to have three quarterbacks. And David Watford, obviously very familiar of being the backup to Dane Evans, and a great fit for this Ticats team. And I'll point it out, he did lead the team in rushing touchdowns last season, so wouldn't be surprised to see him in short yardage situations. And I am also very, very excited to see Don Jackson make his Ticats debut and see how the Ticats use him. And of course, Thomas Erlington, he's going to be looking at building off of a big game. That offensive line is going to be looking for a little bit more consistency like they did last week, and lots of exciting things to watch heading into this game. And make sure you join us. Again, if you're not joining us in person, even if you are, just put us on the Ticats audio network, ticats.ca. Make sure to be listening tomorrow, and including the Tiger Cats postgame, where we'll be giving away a pair of tickets. But it all gets underway at 11 a.m. with Bubba O'Neill. I'm looking forward to talking to you at 12 o'clock, like I said, on the Ticats audio network alongside Andy Fantuz. I hope you have a great Sunday. One more sleep, Hamilton. Cannot wait to see you at Tim Hortons Field. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. For the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day.